Welcome to SYN, SYN 101. Self-inaugurated education, August 9, 2024. Perpetually anticipating the replacement prototype. If the design integrity of the human species of Universe Eternal Omniscient Mind does not include our metaphysical propensities, how in the universe could each of us conceptualize, sense detectable observations? A conceptuality is independent of size, which means anything observed regardless of its size can be considered and reconsidered by metaphysical intellect. This is so whether it is a point on a blank page, a word of any size or identifiable font, a point doable something way over there or right under your finger. All the physical cases are conceptual, independent of size, and where it is size alone that can come to zero, not the conceptuality. Therefore, it would be impossible for our individual imagination to function as an anticipatory design scientist, artist, and artist-scientist, even though this essential awareness function, which can formulate conceptually, is not necessarily identified during the initial stages of consciousness evolution's learning process. Examples of yet to be consciously identified anticipatory design science artist is as the child draws imagined shapes of variously remembered objects of nature, trees, apples, houses, also animals and people. The images are potentially rememberable without need to measure its angles and frequencies, nor the most accurate language, words, and mathematics. A conceptuality is a metaphysical function independent of size that requires the physical brain's neuronal circuits correlatively with every experiential, experimental, trial and error, local problem-solving process. The more consciously knowledgeable of the system's cosmically designed regenerating eternal energy pattern integrity, the more inclined the observer is to consciously coordinate its thought and language, gathered information referential to it. It is the system. The system is cognizable and recognizable as the minimum structural system that is constituted of lines, where the lines cross and the areas described by those inherent topological system aspects. Consequently, the topological characteristics of the minimum thinkable set coincide with system awareness, as lines become knowable as vectors. Corners where the lines cross over and under are knowable as vertexes. The areas are describable as triangular faces or openings. Since the tetrahedron's 6 vectors, 4 vertexes, 4 triangular openings can be drawn on any surface in various illustrations, then logically, as the environment's energy unit, awareness of it is critical to consciousness evolution's anticipatory design science realities, especially pertaining to conceptualizing the most economical way a system can behave relative to unity and self in universe. U equal MP. Universe equal metaphysical times physical. The self-regenerating patterning integrity of all that is, was, ever will be, is always in universe. This suggests the generalized principles are patterning integrities that accurately define our species. Humans of the eternal mind are always in universe. But the inaccurately identified quasi-systems devised by the human imagination's ability to formulate conceptually can be substituted with configurations that nevertheless manifest as the aberrational dimensioning reference to false premises, initiated as emulatively potentially permanently manifest fixations, a supposedly inescapable system. The human imagination's ability to formulate conceptually from childhood requires the least distorted, not the most ambiguous. If the first subdivision of omnirational universe is constituted of the least aberrated topological characteristics that we can now identify as a symmetrical tetrahedron, which can be observed in various action-reaction results in vectorial illustrations shown in synergetics, figure 108.01, 162, 511.10, 620.03, 593.23. Logically, this energy system is the omni-idealized, weightless, zero-phase geometric referential frame. That does not derive from millennium's OPR, JWBC, HM, politics, religion, justice, war, belief complexes, hierarchical matrix. Getting out of the system closely relates to, with, awareness of energetic mathematics, zero phase of conceptual integrity that is inherent in the positive and negative asymmetries that propagate the differentials of consciousness. Initial knowledge of it requires informed awareness of the tetrahedron, vector equilibrium, and eventually the octahedron, since the tetrahedron and octahedron fill all space during kinetic dynamic considerations. Perhaps all rest, R-E-S-T words, at rest, arrest, which seem prevalent under the J factor in the PRJWBCHM, also can describe illogical, irrational, predominantly physical inclinations that subject humans to aspects of the slave mentality conditioning, including some relatively impossible correlations to with nature's abhorrences. Nature is said to avoid what is abhorrent, such as a vacuum and equilibrium. An airplane in flight going into a death spiral to avoid equilibrium is an example of nature when the plane's flying conditions are impaired and or malfunctioning. A space that is entirely devoid of matter apparently is filled by nature, the informed knowledge of which corresponds with conceptualities of closest packing spheres, where spheres become spaces and spaces become spheres. In any case, knowing of the vector equilibrium is essential to anticipatory design science projections throughout one's lifetime educations with respect to consciousness evolution and admitting humans are intelligent, an intelligent species, designed in principle to be concerned for every newborn generation. It is imaginable that every living species on Earth is a design of Universe Eternal Omniscient Mind. Its integrally eternal observations and self-testing to every multifaceted degree throughout intertransforming evolution environments. Are those departments of such complex mathematical precision that the very thought of it seems impossible? Not to be amazed by it can change over a lifetime, especially when the variety is unique comparing all species to humans, because we invent self-destructive systems for illogical, irrational reasons, instigating complex problems and complicated scenarios, attesting to the least economical way a system can behave that can last for millenniums. The PRJWBCHM is a complicated, self-perpetually destructive, illogical, irrational scenario of events. Consciousness evolution is at the threshold of cognizing its replacement. Prototype UIVMOFCH Universe Isotropic Vector Matrix Operational Field Cosmic Hierarchy. Apparently, realizing the context can be described as intellect reads synergetics. Focus today on Synergetics 4.64.07 and 4.64.07.